Welcome to the MorningStar Stables. Hello, Jude. Hello, Luna. And good morning, Star. My name is Dora Dillistone, and I have written a book about Luna, the mare with the sky blue eyes. It's a story of a little horse that was rescued by the horse shelter near Santa Fe, and it's about her first year here at the MorningStar Stables with her adopted family. The shy little mare with the piercing blue eyes stood shining like silver in the high desert sun. She was hungry and thin when the horse shelter had taken her in. The humans were kind and loving, so her thoughts were filled with hope. Her stomach was filled with hay. Maybe someday she would have a real home. One spring day, the trainers came to visit the horse shelter near Santa Fe, carefully looking for the special horse to show off their training skills. She was too small, too thin, and too quiet. No one looked at her. They just walked by. Suddenly, a too-tall young trainer glanced into her blue eyes. She looked at him and thought, "Please, sir, pick me, and I will try very hard. I am small, but I will carry you well." The too-tall young trainer spoke to her, and in a whisper, he said, "There's something special about you, little mare. Come with me, and I will teach you my secrets. We will train together and find you a good home. But we only have 3 months to try." It was a warm summer day in June when they drove north to Taos, the trainer, his wife, 2 boys, and the little white mare. MorningStar Stables was to be their new home, where the family would live and the horses would train. The show and the auction that might give her a home were less than 3 months away. More horses arrived daily to the MorningStar Stables to learn of the trainer's secrets. Close by the barn stood a strange lady. Her curious husband was right by her side. They welcomed the arrivals and gave them a hand as the horses unloaded and found their new stalls. The stable was small, but filled with love for all of the horses. The little mare thought, "It is a good place to stay, even if only for a few months." The too-tall young trainer had started her lessons with a lead rope and halter. Circles she did in a round pen for him. She walked, then trotted, and finally cantered, as everyone smiled and patted her head. A saddle was gently placed on her back, and the too-tall young trainer carefully climbed on. Into the arena they went. She wobbled at first, but grew very strong. They worked every day, and she never complained. There were challenges the trainer knew the mare must do. Quickly she learned and never grew tired. She stood on a tarp and looked at the mountains. Her tiny hooves pranced across the wooden bridge, and over the pole she jumped. Once, twice, 3 times she jumped. Only 2 months were left before the horse show and auction. She thought to herself, "Could someone really want a little horse like me?" The little mare made new friends at the stables. Figaro the barn cat visited her every day. The chocolate-colored Rocky Mountain horse, named Jude, became her best friend. They would run, kick, and buck. "Jude, look what I can do. You can do it too." Over the bridge they would run, and around the arena they would fly. Star, the big black horse, would run beside them. He too was her friend and wanted to play. "Training is fun," said the too-tall young trainer who taught her so well. "She learns very fast and works really hard." Jude taught her how to whinny. "My, what a deep voice you have," he said. Star would watch over her as she slept in her pen. "I am strong and will keep you safe as you sleep." The little mare thought, "Why should I ever have to leave?" The mare grew and became more beautiful in an unusual sort of way. No longer did her ribs show, since she ate her hay every day. Her metallic coat was washed and groomed to a shining glow. The strange lady watched and wondered, "What is this little mare with the shining silver hair and the piercing blue eyes, who tries so hard to do her very best? There's something special about her," said the curious husband. "What can it be?" Finally, the day of the horse shelter show and auction came. The pale little mare was bathed and groomed and combed and sprayed. "Today I will do my best," she thought to herself. The two tall young trainer's beautiful wife had given the mare a special song to dance to, volare, which means to fly. And that is just what the little mare with the sky-blue eyes did. She flew around the arena. She circled and trotted and cantered to the music. She side-passed and halted, then cantered some more. The crowd cheered and applauded and stood on their feet. "Bravo! Bravo!" they cheered. After the show came time for the auction. Funds would be raised for all of the horses at the shelter to feed them and make them healthy and safe. The bidding began. The little mare stood quietly. Her piercing blue eyes looked at the crowd. Would she go home with a new family? Would she ever see the MorningStar Stables again? The strange lady and her curious husband stood waiting and watching. The bidding was fast, and many were eager to adopt the little mare. Suddenly, she heard a loud yell. "Sold!" said the auctioneer. Walking towards her was the strange lady and her curious husband. They shook the trainer's hand and gave her a little pat on the head. Could it be true? Would she see Jude and Star again? Would Figaro again visit her every day? She thought of the other horses, and the children running and calling to her, the beautiful mountains of Taos behind the arena she longed to see. The strange lady took her lead rope and said, "Come, little girl, we are taking you home." And back to the MorningStar Stables they went. The lady, no longer strange, came to visit her every day. The curious husband grew more curious about the shining little mare with the piercing blue eyes, who would stand in her pen and gaze at the moon. One night the lady watched the mare glowing in the light of the moon and said, "We will call you Luna. Why are you so unusual, Luna? What makes your hair glow and shine in the light?" "I know," said the curious husband. "We will ask the university what you are." It did not hurt when they pulled the mane hair to send to the genetics laboratory. Everyone waited anxiously for the test results from the university to arrive. Finally, the results came. "Luna," the lady said, "you have the DNA of the oldest domestic horses. The Turkoman and the Arabian horses from lands far away and long, long ago gave you their genes. You carry the blood of the golden horses. You have the heart, soul, and bravery of horses that carry your warriors and live by the tents." They lived in the desert and looked up at mountains like those in the land where you now live. Their beauty and bravery were known throughout the world. Luna heard stories that were told to the children of ancient horses in faraway lands and thousands of years ago, stories of the Silk Road and Arabian Nights and songs of deserts and mountains, just like the ones where she now lives. Luna's perlino-colored coat gives off a metallic shine, like the horses so admired by Alexander the Great. He called these horses the most beautiful horses. They were strong and courageous as they carried their warriors and conquered new lands. The coming winter will not hurt Luna, for she is a strong little mare. She shares the strength of her ancestors before her. Fall was approaching, and Luna could hear the sounds of San Jeronimo feast day at the Taos Pueblo. It was September, and the leaves were turning gold. Luna looked up at the moon in the clear, cold mountain air. Tonight, the snow-topped mountains will cast long shadows from the light of the moon. Coyotes sang in the distance. Deer grazed in the back pasture while the stables settled in for the night. One night, a young bear visited the horses while out searching for apples falling from trees. Jude, Luna, and Star watched over the barn, but knew there was nothing to fear. "Brother Bear," Jude spoke, "we know you are our friend and will do us no harm." "I am just getting fat for my long winter's sleep," said the cinnamon-colored bear. Winter snows came early to Taos, but Luna grew a thick coat of shining hair to keep her warm. Other horses came to train and then went home. She loved the MorningStar, all the horses, and Figaro the cat. She loved Taos Mountain, Lobo Peak, and the snow-capped Wheeler Peak. Most of all, she loved her humans. Luna knew this was forever her home. The full moon of the winter solstice had passed, and it was Christmas Eve. All was quiet. The bonfires glowed in the distance at the Taos Pueblo, and Luna could smell the aromatic wood of the fires. The sound of the drums traveled through the thin, crisp night air. A shooting star sped across the dark night sky. On Christmas Day, the lady and her curious husband gave Luna a beautiful new saddle made just to fit her. Snow began to fall, and Luna caught the flakes on her nose. Tomorrow, Luna would run and play in the thick new-fallen snow. Jude and Star would run with her. The days were getting longer. Spring was coming to MorningStar Stables. The land was awakening to new life. Magpies revisited their nests to prepare it for their eggs. Ravens plucked hair from the horses' tails to build waterproof nests. Sounds of wild turkeys, baby goats, and lambs filled the air. The pink blossoms of the apple and cherry trees opened against a crystal blue sky. Soon, the hummingbirds would return. Luna watched as new horses came to the stable to train. The too-tall young trainer will choose another horse from the horse shelter near Santa Fe for the show and auction this year. But Luna knew she would not leave her family. The little mare, no longer shy, gazes up at the mountain with her piercing blue eyes. She's no longer thin and no longer hungry, for she is very well fed and very much loved by all of her family with both 4 legs and 2. Today, Luna and the lady will ride together to celebrate her first year at the MorningStar Stables. She holds her head high, as did her ancestors of long ago. The lady and Luna have much to learn, but their journey together has just begun. I hope you've enjoyed Luna's story, the little mare who was nearly forgotten and left behind, and of those who saved her. I hope that it interests you in reading more about science and the history of the horse, and looking at the beautiful, beautiful paintings that make up this book. And now, before we leave the MorningStar this morning, I'd like to encourage all of you to take the time to stop, look, and listen to this wonderful world around you. You will find that you have a story to tell, or maybe a song to sing, or maybe music to write, or a painting that just needs to be painted. All of you are capable of doing this, and I challenge you to start now. Thanks for coming today. Now I got to go feed the horses. Bye.